Hi, everybody. My name's Ellen Sachs, and I'm the director of the Sachs Institute, and I'd like right now to introduce Provost Michael Quick. He was just named permanent provost. Many congratulations.
Oh, thanks, Ellen. I accept your condolences. I actually become officially the provost April 1st, which I think that means the president has a sense of humor. But welcome to all of you, and thanks so much for joining us here at USC for the Sachs Institute Spring Symposium, and for participating in this extremely important and long overdue topic in higher education, mental health on our campuses. This is, as I was just mentioning to some folks, this is of personal interest to me. I'm a neuroscientist by training, and a lot of my work has been around the fields of addiction and drug abuse, and a lot of my funding has come from the National Institutes of Mental Health. And so this has been a topic that's been on my mind for a long time, and one from certainly the single cell level in the brain we're very interested in understanding, and I know that you all are here to think about how that all works for humans and their interactions in the world. So very, very interesting topic. And I don't have to tell you that this country has not done a particularly good job dealing with mental health. That's what us provosts call an example of understatement. But this is very true of mental health issues on our campuses. And this is so important for a number of reasons. One, just for the practical nature of it. I know when I speak to Ainsley Carey, our Vice Provost for Student Affairs, he tells me about how more and more the largest issue that our Student Affairs group faces on campus is this issue of mental health. And we need to figure out how to deal with it. And we look forward to hearing what you all have to say on that topic. You know, at USC, our commitment is to scholarship with consequence, and I think we are failing as a great research university if we are not confronting what is a very difficult issue and offering solutions to it. So thank you so much for being here. And of course, confronting important issues and offering solutions is the hallmark of the Sachs Institute for Mental Health Law, Policy, and Ethics. It's been around for, what, 5 years now or so, and the Sachs Institute has become one of the nation's leading think tanks for issues related to mental health. And one of its strengths, I believe, has been its ability to break down walls and bring together expertise from across our university and, of course, across the globe. You know, I'm very proud of this university. As a private research university, we have one of the largest numbers of underrepresented minorities that come here. Approximately 20% of our incoming class are underrepresented minorities. About 14% are first-generation college goers. I was one. We have the second largest number of international students of any university in the United States. We accept more than 1,400 transfer students a year, many of them coming from community colleges. We have over 1,000 veterans who take classes here at USC. So I'm very happy to see the agenda of this symposium today that's looking at mental health issues confronting these unique populations. And thank you so much for not thinking that one size fits all, that there are particular issues for particular groups that have to be confronted. And I look forward to hearing what you have to say about it. But you have a lot to do today, I know. The panel's already ready to go. Look at this. And so let me let you get on with it. But first, let me thank a few people. Thank you to all of our participants who are going to be presenting today. You guys are the experts at this. I look forward to what you have to say. I want to thank supporters of the Sachs Institute. There's just a number of you that have done tremendous work to advance the mission of the Sachs Institute, so thank you for that. And finally, let me thank the incomparable Ellen Sachs. She's the Orrin B. Evans Professor of Law, Psychology, and Psychiatry and Behavioral Sciences at USC. She's in the Gould School of Law. She's an adjunct professor of psychiatry at UCSD and an assistant faculty member at the new Center for Psychoanalysis in LA. If you are not inspired by her story and her courage and her dedication, then you are dead. More importantly to me, she is driven to make a difference in the world for those encountering mental health issues. Ladies and gentlemen, let me bring back up Ellen Sachs.
Thank you, Provost Quick, for that really kind and lovely introduction. And again, let me congratulate you on your first official duty as the new provost of USC. Yeah. We're delighted to have you here this morning and thrilled that the USC administration is so supportive of our institute. I would also like to take a moment to thank our Dean of the Law School, Bob Rasmussen. Bob has been a wonderful dean and a tremendous supporter of the Sachs Institute over the years. Thank you, Bob. You've been a true friend to us. Friendship is an essential part of recovery from mental illness. Having a close friend in college can mean the difference between success and failure. I became floridly psychotic on the roof of the Yale Law School during my first term. I was restrained, medicated, given very little privacy, hospitalized for 5 months, diagnosed with schizophrenia, and given a, quote, grave prognosis. In other words, those in charge of my care didn't think that I would be able to live independently, let alone work at a menial job. The University Health Services recommended that I lower my expectations and work as a cashier, at least for some years. I knew, though, that this was not right for me. I loved school, had done it well, and that's where I belonged. That's where I wanted to be. That's where I belonged. And so, still quite ill, I went back to school. I was mostly able to hide my psychotic episodes. There, in addition to good treatment and a nurturing and supportive school environment, it was friendship that helped me get by. Stephen Benke, the chair of my institute, was that friend for me. Very early in our relationship, for reasons that are still not clear to me 30 years later, I knew I could trust him with my story. And so one weekend afternoon at the Naples Pizzeria on the Yale campus, I told Steve about myself. He received the information with warmth, kindness, and compassion, and from that moment on, our friendship was cemented. My friendship with Steve was crucial in helping me negotiate my way through law school. When I would become psychotic, Steve would be there by my side. He'd be calm and reassuring, very important, because psychosis is mostly a disease of fear, and stay with me when I was afraid to be alone. I know our friendship took a toll on Steve and could be challenging. When I became especially ill, he would ask whether he could call my analyst, a step that was always a last resort for him. I'd never say yes to the question. I'd simply tell Steve to do what he thought best. Actually, one time Steve did call my analyst, who was on his way to China to give a paper. Steve called him and said that, and explained to him that I seemed quite psychotic, that earlier in that day, I had told Steve that I was going to fly to China in advance of my analyst to clear it out of all the bad people, to which my analyst responded, "How considerate of her." Steve and my analyst could make a good team. Without Steve's support, I could not have made it through law school so successfully, or even at all. Steve was a second set of eyes who could see me slipping before I could. He was a rock who could support me when I was about to fall. And he was a true friend who helped me find meaning and pleasure in my life when meaning and pleasure felt like distant memories. Students who have spoken at the Sachs Institute panels will often talk about the important people in their lives, people who have helped them not just survive, but to thrive. I will now turn it over to a man who has been that person to me, my dearest friend, Steve Benke.
Thank you, Ellen. I'll speak only for a moment because I know we are all eager to begin today's exciting program. We have come here today to learn, and we hope to grow in our wisdom. That is the mark of a great university. scholarship with consequences. A great university creates spaces where we may come together to make meaning of our knowledge and our experiences. Dean Rasmussen and Provost Quick have committed to ensuring that the Sachs Institute will thrive as a collaborative, interdisciplinary space, and we are very grateful to them for their support. Thank you. Today, we will listen to people with lived experience, as we do at the beginning of all Sachs Institute programs. We acknowledge these students for their courage to speak about their lived experience on our panels, some for the first time in a public venue. And for that reason, I would like the students who have come today with lived experience, who are going to speak today, to stand up so we can recognize them for their courage. When I had the great pleasure of meeting Ellen as a first-year law student, our focus was on graduating and then getting a job. Ellen was not a mentally ill classmate. Ellen was a classmate with a mental illness that sometimes made her work more of a challenge. I, in turn, was a first year who was wondering why in the world I had come to law school to begin with. Ellen helped me make meaning of those always challenging and often confusing years. 3 decades later, we remain close friends and professional colleagues. For that gift Ellen has given me, I am enormously grateful and would like to thank her. So, thank you. And now we are ready to begin.